not with crickets, go to hsn.com and check it out. Up to 50% off through May 6th.
That's awesome.
Do you have a cricket yet, Carrie?
I don't.
Oh my gosh, they're the greatest things.
I know.
I love my crickets so much.
I used to scrapbook a lot, like.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did, but
No
like
way.
old school, like before the stuff that
all the
helped
fancy
you.
stuff. Yeah,
You're cutting forever.
We might want to get back into it. It makes it a lot easier. All right, Carrie's joining me, and this is cool. Did you know, this is a wild stat that I just found out.
What's that?
Iced coffees are now the #1 most popular drink when you go through that drive-through place.
It's 100% true.
Interesting.
And it's interesting because a lot of times people don't necessarily understand the difference between an iced coffee or a cold brew, and there's a very big difference. Hot coffee, when you take hot coffee and you throw it over ice, that's an iced coffee. But if you're doing cold brew, you're actually brewing it right from the start using either room temperature or cold water. And this one actually just gave us that really fun noise, do-do-do-do-do. Okay, so it's gonna sing to you and say, your cold brew is ready. So this is the Instant Brands Cold Brew Maker. And what I love about Instant Brands is we're here to make things easy for you. We're here to give you not just instant pots anymore, which we revolutionized the entire culinary world with, but we're here to also help you with your coffee brewing. So here I'm actually gonna take my lid off, I'm gonna remove it from the base, and you're gonna notice that right here, there's a little brew basket. So the brew basket is where you're gonna put your coffee. I'm just gonna bring my brew basket back here, just to pop them back here, because we're gonna talk about how to fill it in just a moment. But what I want you to see is that you've got a beautiful glass pitcher. This glass pitcher is dishwasher friendly, as well as the brew basket itself. Okay. But I have just made cold brew, because when I say cold brew, you go, right, that's the thing that I have to sit and wait for 18 to 24 hours, right?
Or, you know what? My son buys cans of cold brew.
Oh my gosh.
And it costs a fortune.
So expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a few different ways to do cold brew, and even if you go to that big coffee shop, they're going to ask you, they're gonna say, hey, do you want it, sorry about that, that's okay, we'll just pop them in there. They'll say, do you want it with ice or without ice? And that's entirely up to you, because that is a difference between iced coffee and cold brew.
But don't you think it's better to have cold brew with ice?
I do. I mean, I think that's, you know, it's a preferential situation, so that's why I'm pouring one with, one without.
But I mean, that's what people are paying a fortune for. Because they love the taste of cold brew, and they want it on ice.
And they want it on ice.
Right.
But the thing about cold brew that I love is that when you're brewing it cold like this, you are actually making it up to 67% less acidic. And that's just something I want to say one more time, 67% less acidic. Now, if you have a sensitive stomach, if you're a person who, you know, and it's happened to me, I sometimes, you know, life happens. We get stressed out, we're dealing with work, we're dealing with things, our stomach gets upset. Then you think, oh, I need my coffee. Then your coffee makes you more upset. When you hot brew, it's actually pulling out all the acids and the oils and it's putting it into your coffee. When you cold brew, you're actually leaving those acids and those oils, because when the cold water hits it, it doesn't come out as much. So I think
so you
that's
actually get, I would say, a more delicious coffee because you don't have the acidy aftertaste.
Smoother, they say sweeter, so it's just a matter of, sometimes they have vanilla notes or chocolate notes that are coming out. It's gonna give you a completely different profile with the same grounds. So here I'm gonna take the brew basket. You're getting the scooper with it. You're gonna do 7 scoops is kind of where we tell you to start, but here's the beautiful thing. You can customize this how you like it. So if you like less scoops, more scoops, you name it. At the bottom of here, there's actually a little extractor blade, and if I have an extra one, I will show you that in just a second. Because does that one have coffee in it too? A little bit.
Yes.
Whoopsie, that's what happens at 1:40 in the morning, right?
I was looking for the blade.
So you're just gonna slide it right inside, so you see how it just sets right inside. And your water can either be 16 ounce, 24 ounce, or 32 ounce, so whatever you, and you're gonna adjust your coffee grounds based on what you like to do. So I'm just gonna turn that right there so you can see it, great. Now the base is super simple. There's a button at the back to turn it off or on, and then you come to the front and you're just going to add your minutes. So if I wanna add just a few minutes, I can do it one at a time. If I hold it down, it's gonna count in 5-minute increments. I wanna go all the way up to 20. And then you see that it lights up there for me to go. Okay, so then I hit go, it's counting down, and it's gonna go. So here I actually just forgot to put my lid on, so I'm gonna do that real quick. But this is gonna take about 20 minutes to give you absolutely perfectly brewed cold brew, which in the past was impossible. You had to wait minimum 12 hours.
So you make it and stick it in the fridge.
Yes.
And then wait for days, and you finally get cold brew.
That's right.
Or spend a fortune buying the cans of it.
So you can see right now it's agitating, and when it agitates at the bottom, it's doing this magnetic agitation, but you see it's actually brewing right now, and that is called our FlashExtract technology. And that technology is what's enabling it to give you that 18-24-hour taste with only waiting 20 minutes.
That's wild.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it's really, and you can see it's kind of going whoop, like this. It's like whoop, up and down.
So it like settles, it'll stop. and then it'll happen again, and it's agitating. Here we go, we're agitating, you know? So it's kind of fun to watch, and it'll rise up, and then it'll sink back down, and that's it. You don't have to babysit it. You can walk away. It's gonna sing to you when it's done in those 20 minutes.
That's awesome.
If you ever need to like kind of change it up a little bit and take the minutes down, again, it's customizable, which I really like. But don't forget, this is not just cold brew for your coffee. This is also cold brew for your tea. So if you want to do loose leaf teas,
You know what? People love loose leaf teas now.
Oh my gosh, it's
I mean,
so
there's
good.
whole stores dedicated
Absolutely.
to the perfect preparation of teas.
Absolutely, and you know, tea can get burned very easily. So if you're talking about hot brewing tea, it can really become an issue. So here, let me just pop this down here, and then we're gonna come back. Now, if I wanted to take this and put this in the fridge for later, I totally can, and I love that about this because it's got this nice lid here. But I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna make us an Arnold Palmer because, hey, it's coming into the summer.
Why not?
Okay, so now the way you can layer it really cool is I'm gonna add my ice. So I did my lemonade first, and then I'm gonna add my ice, and when I add the cold brew on top, this is going to layer beautifully. So
do you think that it brings out a better flavor in tea because it's cold brew?
Absolutely. Absolutely it does. Because what's happening, again, you're taking the cold water instead of hot water. It's gonna be less acidic on both sides. There's less tannins in the tea. So you're less, there's less chance of burning your tea, but also you're, again, bringing out different flavor profiles. So when I hot brew, it's doing something different to both the beans of the coffee and the tea leaves than it's doing with cold water.
So you really will taste a distinct difference between the two. And people have gone crazy over cold brew. Like I said, my son, he loves cold brew so much, but he spends a fortune buying the cans. And it's the pre-made stuff, and you know that just can't taste that great, right? Because it's pre-made, you have no idea what's in it. I think it's so cool to be able to do a cold brew at home, and now you're doing it, and you said 20 minutes, it'll be done.
That's it, 20 minutes.
That's awesome.
So I've already placed my water in the pitcher. I'm gonna go ahead and put my brew basket right in here. It just sinks right down into here. I'm gonna grab my lid. The arrow at the front just lines up to the front of the pitcher, and then you're gonna turn it to lock it. That's it. We come over to our base, make sure it's turned on. You'll see your 0 zeros. You know, on this one, this is a green tea, so I'm gonna actually do this one for 8 minutes. I don't know if we're going to be able to do 8 minutes. We may not get back to this one, but you can kind of see what happens. But as it starts, again, I hear it going. We see things happening in here. This is a beautiful green tea. Whatever you're using, it's going to have such great profiles, such great notes. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. Now, while that's starting and you're peeking at that, I'm gonna go to the fridge. You wanna know why? Because I brewed some cold brew earlier, and I just placed it in the fridge. It can last 7 to 10 days in the fridge. So if you wanna brew earlier and come back and get it, now, I don't know. I say, if it's only 32 ounces, I'm probably gonna drink it today or tomorrow. But we're all different. So I'm gonna bring it right back to the base just to kind of open her up. What's great about it, again, you're getting high quality brewing in a matter of 20 minutes. If you wanna leave this how we did, we left the filter in here, you could, the longer you leave it, the more extraction from that bean that you're getting. So this is nice and dark. It's gonna be super smooth. It's gonna be super delicious. We're going to make, wait for it, I'm gonna go to my frother.
I'm very excited
if you
about
have a frother, I want you to, you could do a hand frother, you can do one of these electric frothers, but I'm gonna place in here my oat milk. So it's about a 1/4 cup of oat milk. We're gonna do about a tablespoon of our lavender syrup. And we're gonna do about, I think it's 1 to 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, so to your taste.
This is cool.
Okay, and then I'm gonna let that actually go here. So let me do, I'm gonna do a cold foam on mine. This absolutely lets me do a cold foam. If you've been going to the coffee houses and you've been getting the cold foam vanilla creams and the cold foam lavenders and the cold foam pistachios and all this stuff, you can make it if you have this, and then just whichever kind of frother that you have. You could do a hand one, you can do many different ways of frothing milk.
Sure.
But it means that you're not paying. I was just at that green coffee house, you know, that we all know. $6 for a vanilla cream. What I'm about to make right now was $6 for one. Get this machine home. You can have it straight. You can add foam to it. You can do different recipes, do your teas. You will get your money back on this in what, 4 or 5 drinks.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
And tonight, just to point this out, this is on sale. Normally, this is $100, and it's from the Instant Gang, and we love their products. You all know them. You're very familiar with the company. They really make brilliant products. We've got it on sale at $69.99. That's a really nice savings, and it's on 3 Flex. My husband is a massive coffee drinker. He loves all this fancy coffee, all these gourmet coffees.
Sure.
He loves it. If you're thinking a really unique Father's Day gift, my husband would flip having this because he loves coffee so much in any form.
Yes.
He does not have a cold brew system.
There you go.
And I think he doesn't drink it because he doesn't know how to do it and he doesn't waste the money on the cans.
It could be a whole process and a whole thing, right? And so then, because even if you're cold brewing at home and you're using some kind of something, then you have to actually make it that the ground's out, so you have to filter it and you have to do all these things.
It's
you don't have to worry
what.
about. Exactly.
Right.
When you're done with this, it all goes in the dishwasher and you're ready to go again. So that's what I love about it because, you know, something can be a great item, but if it's not easy to clean and it's not easy to use, you're not going to use it.
Well, and I really like it too for the teas. If you have anybody, there's so many people who absolutely love gourmet teas.
Yeah.
Again, most of the time they think a hot tea when they're making it. They don't think about a cold tea process, which completely transforms the taste of that same tea they did hot to the cold. So if you've got somebody who's tough to buy for, they like coffee or they love tea, I think they will really flip when they get this.
So here we go. So we're just gonna put our cold foam right on top. So this is our lavender, okay? So we just did lavender, again, lavender syrup, oat milk, and maple. That's it, okay? So that makes you an absolute, that's a specialty drink that you go, I could never make that. We just did, it was super simple. Even more simple, let's do that vanilla cream that we heard about, right? So now I'm just gonna go ahead and froth. So this is a little secondary thing you have to do aside from the machine, but I'm telling you, man, it's awesome when you do it. So this is gonna be a coconut milk, and then we're gonna do our maple syrup, and then we're gonna do our vanilla syrup.
Oh, nice.
Simple. These are usually things we have at home for the most part. You can play with different milks if you want to use a regular milk or something like that. But I'm just gonna let that froth for a moment. Again, I'm using a cold frother so that I'm able to get that cold, you know, foam, because you don't want to put hot foam on a cold drink. You can literally have a hand blender to do this as well. They're super simple to get. But I'm just telling you, look how beautiful that is. Even if you just pour a little milk over top of it, but I'll tell you this much.
Can I taste it?
You, please do. You also don't have to, because it's so smooth, because it's 67% less acidic, you can drink it straight up, but this really,
my gosh.
Is that ridiculous?
It is ridiculous.
Lavender syrup, maple syrup, and just a little bit of oat milk.
Oh, girl. Oh my gosh, and the cold brew. Thank you, I have it all over. Oh, I had some.
She's so in it. She's like, I love it.
I am all in it. No, but, and even the cold brew.
Yeah.
Like, I've been drinking a hot cup of coffee in my Today Special from our Corksicle folks.
Yeah.
But then I switched to the cold brew. Again, completely different experience.
Completely different experience.
So cool. Oh my gosh.
So I'm gonna prep this one real quick. So I'm gonna go all the way down to the end there. And then, let's see. I'm gonna pop this a little early, but it should be good. But guys, this is the vanilla cream I just saw. Okay, the vanilla cream that I just saw for $6 at the store.
Okay, that is
done.
Now I get it. I get why people love cold brew.
So
that
whether you want to go straight up, which you totally can, or whether you want to do the Arnold Palmers, or whether you just want to do, look at our green teas coming along here, you could just pour straight like half and half in there or something as well.
Yeah, sure.
But you're gonna use this so much, and it's gonna give you that smooth texture, that deliciousness, that non-acidic coffee time and time again.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Wrap it up. Carrie, thanks.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you later today.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, stay on the line for this. We've got